Hello, welcome to a video about some unexplainable Reddit stories. If you enjoy this video, feel free to subscribe or like. And with that being said, let's get right into the first story. I think the world ended. Can someone please confirm? I hope someone is reading this. It is my strong suspicion that humanity ended about a week ago. If that is the case, I am posting this in the hopes that I am not the last survivor. Please send help. I have no idea how much longer I'll hold out. I should mention that I was born without my sight. It has been challenging for me. The world we've built is one dominated by the ability to see. Education, roads, even most forms of entertainment are predominantly experienced through the eyes. People have often asked me what it's like being blind, but that's difficult for me to describe. It's just how I am. I like to think that it has allowed me to experience the world in ways that few others do. I can appreciate my other senses to a degree that makes life just as beautiful for me as it does for anyone else, or as terrifying. Believe it or not, I work as an author. My setup allows me to use speech to text or even read my works back to me so I could correct it. I truly enjoy writing. It lets me paint pictures that I can experience the beauty of. That being said, it is a very lonely life. I don't really have too many friends, save the cleaning lady who gives my apartment a one-over every month. It's to my shame that I admit I've been gone for months without leaving my apartment before. I didn't really see any need for me to. I get all the fresh air I need when I drink my coffee on the balcony, and it's not like natural beauty does anything for me. But I do so love the sounds. The birds singing, the wind blowing through the leaves, even the sound of traffic. It makes me appreciate that life is happening all around me. I often felt like the hunchback of Notre Dame, stuck in my tower while the world goes on below me. Only I choose my prison. As a result, I've given myself an unofficial mandate that I must go outside at least once every day for a short walk. I think it keeps me not just sane, but also it helps me to be happier. Another way I avoid depression is a routine. Even if it is a loose one, I find it helps me keep my life structured. I wake up at 7 a.m. and eat breakfast on my balcony. It's one of my favorite parts of the day. I soak in the world around me, the wind brushing over my skin, the birds chirping back and forth to each other in their busy escapes, and the smell of the bakery in the street below. It's when I feel most alive. After that, I shower, get dressed, and begin work at 8:30. I spend the rest of my morning wrestling with writer's block or brainstorming for my next chapters. And then I take a break around noon to have a small lunch and go for a walk that I mentioned earlier. Then, it's back to writing at 1:30. I usually continue on until around 5, which is when I make myself dinner. After dinner, I unwind by listening audiobooks or podcasts, or sometimes I'll put on a movie. As you may have gathered, I experience this world differently than most. For example, I can't just go and look out the sky and see a storm. I feel when the clouds are ready to pour down rain on the earth. I smell the weight of it on the air, and I hear the subtle change in the wind's voice, the way it hushes like the sky is holding in its breath. I've always lived my life this way, and I wouldn't change it, but recently something's been off. I noticed it 13 days ago when I was eating my breakfast. It was a sunny day, and the wind blew gently through my hair. But the smell of it was odd. It had a hint of a medical smell, like formaldehyde. I didn't have the time to dwell on it before a melody of chirps sprung out closer to me than usual. A robin was singing its flute like a song for me. I smiled. It was truly a special way to start my day. My walk that day was also a bit odd, only in the sense that cars seemed more aggressive than normal. The sound of engines revving and horns beeping seemed more common. I could hear people talking too. Someone walked by me, asking their partner about dinner on the phone. Another pair was standing not far away, talking about the weather. Yet another was discussing some meeting they had at work. All perfectly mundane and normal things. What bothered me at this point was the smell. It was not the usual smell of the lake and the trees. Everything was tainted with a chemical smell, and something else, something masked by it. Like if you were to microwave raw chicken until it was hot enough to produce an aroma. I showered after I got home, trying to scrub the stench off me, but I didn't let it bother me. The rest of my day went as normally as it does. As did my morning the next day. I woke up and prepared my breakfast, dusting off the chair on the balcony. The wind was just a bit rougher today, yet dry. It was not unpleasant enough for me to go inside. I couldn't smell the bakery that morning, but I was able to enjoy the sounds I usually do. Cars rushed by, people chattered below, and the robin even sang a song for me. I worked, I ate, I went for a walk, but I almost considered cutting it short. The smell was getting worse. Its mask was slipping off. I could make out the faint scent of burnt hair now, too. Up until now, I was not particularly bothered. The following is what sent me into my steep slide into paranoia. The conversations I heard. Someone asked their partner about dinner. Someone was discussing the weather. Someone was complaining about the meeting. The same voices, the same tones, the same cadences. I stopped to listen, but the conversations all sounded normal to me. A car jolted me back to my senses, 3 quick beeps from the road ahead. I smirked to myself. Everyone was always in such a hurry. I talked myself down on the way home. These were all normal conversations, very common and not unreasonable that people discussed them. After all, I didn't memorize anyone's voice. Who's to say that it was the same person? And yet the next day, the robin with the same tune, dinner, weather, work, 3 beeps. The next day, the day after, and the day after. I even changed my routine. I ate dinner inside, but I could still hear the bird clear as day from my window. I walked another path, yet I heard the same voices, the same mundane conversations. 5 days ago, I tried something else. I left the house at 4 a.m. before dawn, no breakfast, no routine, just a coat, my cane, and silence. I walked through streets I hadn't stepped in years. Quiet side roads, fenced-off alleys, industrial zones, and I still heard it. The robin singing, not distance, close. "What's for dinner?" a woman asked, passing behind me, calm, casual. "The fog is terrible," a man replied on my right. "Supposed to be clear by noon." Yet another. "My boss is writing me about that meeting again." The voices never overlapped. Each one waited their turn like actors in a scene. The pauses between them, identical every time. Then, 3 honks just ahead of me. I ran home and locked my doors and windows, but it didn't change anything. I still heard the robin every day like clockwork. I can even hear the 3 honks on the street below when their time comes. I haven't left my apartment yet. But yesterday, I was fumbling around the living room and knocked something off the shelf. My old radio. It hadn't worked in years. It fell, cracked, and let out a brief burst of static. Then the robin stopped singing. The traffic fell silent. The busy chattering from pedestrians vanished without a trace. And in their place, new noises. Wind, not gentle, but howling, pushing and scraping against the building like claws. Distant crackling, like a fire chewing through dry wood, or the brittle remaining of something once alive. And beneath it all, a deep rumble, not mechanical, geological. The city groaned, not with life, but with pressure, as if its bones were shifting under the weight of their own collapse. I heard something metal fall, far off, a sign or street lamp, maybe. It struck the ground and didn't stop ringing. There were no footsteps, no laughter, no voices, only the wind and the ruins left for it to gnaw on. It lasted only seconds, but it was enough for me to take it all in. The pictures of these sounds sickened me to my core. Then, like a machine sputtered back to life, the robins returned. Then, the cars and the conversations, drowning out the sounds of emptiness in a deafening juxtaposition. All of it came back, just like before, perfect, polished, rehearsed. But when they couldn't keep from me the smell, warm, rancid flesh and sour, acidic chemicals hidden behind the smell of pastries and fresh bread, now I sit here, on the balcony, coffee in hand, pretending the world is still alive. The robin sings on cue, the conversations start in order, the smell drift up from the bakery I'm sure no longer stands. but I know now. Whatever's out there wants me to believe, to follow my routine, and most days I do, because I'm afraid of what happens if I don't. That was an unexplainable story found on Reddit. The links to the post is in the description. If you haven't already, and if you liked the video, please feel free to subscribe. See you next time.